You how to create a new seating plan with seatingplanner.co.uk. Firstly, click the Create Plan link. This will take you through to the actual floor plan. You will see some basic information on how to get started. To the left of the floor space is the toolbox. In this toolbox there are 4 tabs: the tables, the guests, the objects and the plan. We will start by creating some guests. In the name box at the top you can add the guest's name. In this case it's going to be Don. Below that you will see an RSVP. We can click that to show that the guest has actually responded to our invitation. To import guests via CSV, click the Browse button and then select the file that you want to import. Once you have selected the file, click Upload and you will see the guests appearing underneath in the guest list. At the top of the planner, it will show you the status, including the number of seats and the number of guests. We will now add some tables to our floor space. As the tables are getting added, you can see to the top right in the status bar the number of tables, the number of seats, the number of guests and the number of unseated guests. We will continue to drag and drop the tables onto the floor space until we have the required number of seats. Once we have roughly laid out our tables, we then need to place any objects within the floor space. In this case we may want a dance floor or something. With the tables roughly aligned, and tweak them a little bit, we can add the dance floor. The object can be expanded by clicking the bottom right to make it the size required for the floor space. Again, this can be moved around to suit. In some cases, the floor space may not be the required size. If this is the case, you can click to the right and expand the floor space to the desired size. Again, we move the tables to suit the floor plan. Right-clicking on a table will cause a menu to appear. This menu allows you to clone tables, to delete tables and to empty the tables. We will now move the guests to the tables. Simply dragging the guests from the guest list to the table or to an individual seat will seat the guest on that table. In the guest list you will see that the guest becomes slightly obscured. We can carry on just dragging the guest to the tables required. As we do so, you will see the guest list start to dim for each guest. There's 3 tabs along the top of the guest list. Clicking this will show the guests that are unseated or the guests that are seated. Just underneath the status bar to the top right, you will see the guest's name as you drag them to the tables. We just carry on moving the guests to the required tables until we are quite happy that all the guests are placed at the correct position. To save the plan at any point, just click the Plan tab on the toolbox, enter the name of the plan. In this case we'll call it Wedding 1, select the date and then save. This has now saved the plan. Clicking the Account tab, you will see the new plan appear, Wedding 1. We will open that again. The floor plan will be loaded and the tables, objects and guests will appear at the exact same space as they were when you saved the plan. We can now move the remaining guests from the guest list to the actual seats required. The seating plan can now be saved at any point in time. At the top you can see we now have 56 seats, 50 guests and 14 unseated guests remaining. Besides dragging guests from the guest list to the tables, guests can actually be moved from one seat on a current table to another seat on a different table. The tables can be rotated by double clicking on the table. This moves the seats around one space. We'll add some more objects to the floor space. A cake table, a present table, which we can resize and position exactly where we want it, and in this case a bar. At this point we will save the plan again. If we decide we don't like any of the changes we have just made, we can just basically cancel the changes and load the plan. We can print the plan to a PDF file. As you can see, it is exactly as the floor space was within the planner itself. This can be saved and emailed to friends or family. We will reopen the plan. We will find any guests that are currently remaining unseated and move these to finalise the positions of the guests within the floor space. With all the guests now seated, we can see to the top right the unseated guest is equal to 0. We have a few empty seats remaining, so we may want to invite some more guests. So, in this case, we will invite Don Johnson. And we can drag him to a table. Any other guests can be simply added to the guest list and then dragged to the particular seat required. Deleting tables is just a case of right-clicking the menu and deleting the table. The guests will be moved back to the guest list. If we make a mistake, we can simply reload the plan by clicking on the load button. This will take the plan to the state it was before we made the changes. This covers most of the features of seatingplanner.co.uk. To try it out for yourself, just pop along to seatingplanner.co.uk and try the free demo. Thank you.